What's up, action figure fans and collectors? Today I will be reviewing the RAW-10 Cy-Gor figure from Mcfarlane Toys. And like I mentioned in the video I did for Battlesnake, I am no stranger to Mcfarlane figures since I've been collecting Spawn figures from my early teenage years, as well as read plenty of the Spawn comics and collected many other figures that were made by Mcfarlane Toys. As you can see, I have an open one right here. One that I bought in the early 2000s, and of course one of his most recent designs, the Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn figure that comes with the sword. And by the way, there is a Target exclusive version of this guy that comes with a battle axe instead of a sword, so if you want the one with the axe, you have to find him at Target. If you want the one with the sword, you will have to either get this from the GameStop website or Amazon. Alright. And Cy-Gor is a character that had many run-ins with Spawn before in the early comics. He's also had his own comics, I believe. And there were previous figures of Cy-Gor back in the early 2000s. Sadly, I was never able to get a hold of those figures because I remember I was never able to afford them. Especially this one very specific Cy-Gor figure that I always saw in comic book shops. I think it was called like Cy-Gor 2 or something. If I can find an image of it, I'll put the image on the screen. But I always remember that figure looking so damn awesome, and I could just never afford it back in those days. But yeah, Mcfarlane, he's been doing good for himself these days. He's still making Spawn figures. Now he's making these RAW-10 figures. And he is recently doing DC Multiverse figures, which Mattel was the one that were making DC Multiverse, but now Mcfarlane has taken over, and so far I'm liking what he's been doing with the DC Multiverse line, even though he seems to be heavily focused on Batman characters, but he has made Superman, Wonder Woman, and other characters, but he's heavily focused on the Batman characters for some odd reason. But I was never usually a big DC Multiverse collector until Mcfarlane took over. When Mattel was doing them, I usually just cherry pick a few ones that I like. For example, I did pick up the entire Aquaman wave, and I did cherry pick a few from the Batman v Superman wave, but other than that, I usually just go for the DC Direct or DC Collectibles, which sadly are no longer in business because of a few layoffs within the company. And this guy, 20 bucks alone gets you a figure that's way bigger than a Build-A-Figure, and I could show an example of that right here. Here is a Build-A-Figure of Thanos from Avengers Infinity War. And just look at the size comparison when I stand him in front of Cy-Gor. That's insanity. Alright, so let's break him out of the packaging. And by the way, I apologize if I'm not as good as other toy reviewers out there on YouTube. It's because I have not been doing toy reviews in an extremely long time. So my toy reviews might not be so perfect. Oh, there's one more strap tying them in, and that's at the feet. Alright, so I'm going to cut the video right here. Oh my god, Cy-Gor looks fantastic out of the box. From what I understand, Mcfarlane has made this RAW-10 line for younger kids, or if you prefer the word, younger collectors. But longtime comic book fans like myself, or longtime adult collectors, are going to see this guy and be like, hey, I recognize this character from the early Spawn comics. And I think most of the adult collectors are going to be the ones picking this guy up. Possibly adult collectors might be picking this up for their kids if they have children. But yeah, this guy looks amazing. He looks insane, and he makes for a very spectacular display piece with your other figures. Yeah, I would call him mostly a display piece since he only has like 5 points of articulation. So I'll just move Spawn aside for now, and I will compare him with Battlesnake in a few minutes, but I just want to spin this guy around so you guys could take a look at the amazing sculpting work that went into Cy-Gor, or I should say Cy-Gor 2020, because there's like a few other figures of Cy-Gor from the early 2000s. And check this out. on his monkey feet there, his monkey palms, it says RAW. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I like how this guy looks so far. To go into the articulation, it's not going to be much, really. See, he's one in each leg. So that's like 2 points right there. Another 2 points for the arms. Makes a total of 4, and number 5 would be in the head. And he just looks insanely cool. Like, for $20, made for younger collectors, man, this is I mean, this is definitely appealing to me, only because of, you know, not just the fact that I'm an adult collector, but the fact that I am familiar with this character from the early 2000s, and he looks great, you know, displaying them next to your Spawn figures if you're a Spawn fan. And of course I have the other ones that are not currently open. I do have other Spawn figures that are open, but they're currently stored away somewhere. So I think that's, oh man, I think that's just so damn awesome. I'm actually pleased with my purchase of this guy. I mean, 20 bucks, can't go wrong there. And to compare him with the other RAW-10 figure, here he is next to Battlesnake. And in the other video review, I mentioned Battlesnake was about 6.5 inches. I'm not sure how tall Cy-Gor is. I'm gonna have to get out my measuring tape right here. Let's see, from head to toe, he's about 11.5 inches, so almost 12. But if you go all the way up to his fist above his head, he's about 13. So yeah, I would say about 11 to 11.5 inches tall. And if I would to display him next to the 2019 Godzilla figure, which I have right here, and this Godzilla figure is about 12 inches tall, I believe. Yeah, and you can actually pretend to have King Kong versus Godzilla. I think they look awesome together. Get, whoops. I apologize for that. I was trying to get Battlesnake into the frame. There we go. Yeah. Let's get some monster action, or not monster action, but Monster Island action. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, let's get some Monster Island action in here. Pretty cool. And like I mentioned before in the beginning of the video, I think he is a good value, a good bang for your buck, because he is bigger than a Build-A-Figure from Marvel Legends. As you can see there, the height difference looks insane. And to compare him with a 6-inch figure, let's see, I think I have my Batman figure next to me. Yeah, here is Batman from Batman v Superman. And yeah, you can see it's way smaller than Thanos and Cy-Gor, actually. I have to back those up a little bit so I can get all of those into frame. There we go. And here he is next to a Super Saiyan Goku statue. This statue came with my collector edition of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 on PS4. And he stands about, I think, 13.5 inches to the tip of his Super Saiyan hair. And, yeah, just to give you a comparison of how big Cy-Gor really is. I mean, you're going to see how big this guy is if you actually see him in person at Walmart and hold him in your hands. You're going to be like, oh my god, this guy's huge. I can't believe he's only 20 bucks. Also, I should mention that each RAW-10 figure comes with a cool looking poster. So if you see these in stores, always check to see if it comes with the poster package inside. So that completes my review for the RAW-10 Cy-Gor figure from Mcfarlane Toys. What do I think of it so far? I think it's totally worth the 20 bucks if you plan on having this guy for a display piece only. If you're looking for something a bit more articulated to play around with, you know, with like elbow, wrist, or knee articulation, that's not going to be found in this guy right here. So that's why, you know, Mcfarlane specifically made this for younger collectors out there. As for adult collectors who probably prefer something more articulated, you might want to go for his more older Spawn figures, I guess, his older Cy-Gor figures that are currently marked up on the secondary market. But as an awesome display piece, I'd say it's worth it. Definitely worth picking up. But yeah, Happy hunting, guys, and thank you for watching this review for RAW-10 Cy-Gor. I believe I already mentioned in my last video review that I only plan on doing a review on these two guys for now, and then I want to wait and see what Mcfarlane plans on releasing for Wave 2. And, you know, if there's any I want to cherry pick out of that wave, I will do so and possibly do another video review. Alright, so this is Omega Primus, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.